All right, Israel. Let's get down. Check it out. Alawaya, Basham, Hamashaya, Yahawashai. Shalom, Israel. I got the brother Zuriah Solomon with me tonight. That's right. Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Uh, Tonight, we are examining Second Esdras 13. Is Messiah gathering the 10 tribes carried away. All right. I know what a lot of y'all thinking already. Don't even worry about it. Okay. So listen, we ain't addressing them. If you know the deal, then hear the thing. Okay. Hold on 1 minute. Let's see. Again, the name of the lesson, examining Second Esdras, 13th chapter. Messiah, Yahawashai, gathering the 10 tribes carried away. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go to the book of Second Esdras and we're gonna read Israel. That's what we're gonna do. See if what has been said out here is what's actually in the text. Okay. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamt a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that was seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Who is this talking about? That's the question. You want to get in there and say something, brother, as we down to the ninth verse. That is correct. Correct. So quickly to get down to it. If you're following what has been read to you, okay, this is as the brother said. Ezra is having a dream. Back to the top of it. And it came to pass after 7 days. I dreamed a dream by night. So that's all this is a dream, a vision. Okay? Howbeit anybody don't understand that. Now I'm going to read on at the 10th verse. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smoke and smell of smoke. Salakia. When I saw this, I was afraid, says Esdras. Okay. Afterward saw I the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him. Wherefore, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound, and other some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, so wait a minute. He awaked from this dream that he was having, Israel. Hear the thing. Okay? I'm going to read that one more time. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound. And another, some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For I conceived in mine understanding. Woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. So we would need to go to where? Matthew in the 24th chapter, okay, to see what this is talking about. Here as it discusses, I'm going to read it again. For as I conceived in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. Okay, this lesson is not about the precept and what's happening here, but here's the thing, okay? We'll get that in another, we'll do a part 2. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that were laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them and to those that are left behind. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happened in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, the interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required, whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind. This is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty Yahweh. Now this, therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. The same is he whom Yahweh the highest hath kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature. Who is that talking about, Israel? Let's read that last verse again, 26. The same is he whom Yahweh the highest hath kept a great season. Okay? Which by his own self shall deliver his creature. Who is this talking about, Zuriah Solomon? Yes, I hear you. That's right. Hear the thing, Israel. And he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Talking about Israel. That's who he's going to deliver. Begin to deliver. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on earth. Who is it that's coming? Well, that we talking about this entire chapter. This is talking about how Mashiach. Okay, here the thing, Israel. This is what chapter 13, 2nd Esdras, is talking about. Hamashiach Yahushai coming back to the earth to gather Israel's elect. It's going to read on. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son, and then shall my son be declared. Okay, what do you want to say? You want to say something, Zuriah? With a capital S. Whom thou sawest as a man ascending. My son Israel, so saith the Most High. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come, and to overcome him by fighting. These are the nations. Says they're going to try to fight Hamashiach. But we're going to hear the thing and find out what's going to happen. In this vision, this has not taken place. Have you seen Hamashiach, the Son of Man? Have you seen nations fighting against him? We're reading it line for line, Israel. 2nd Esdras, 13th chapter. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands, spoken of earlier in the chapter. That graven mountain, or mountain that was graven. And this my son, with a capital S, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented. So wait a minute. These other nations are going to be tormented by the one and only Savior of Israel, Hamashiach Yahushua. What's so hard to understand? Now we're going to read on. Hear the thing. And they shall lay them their evil thoughts, before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me read that again, Israel. Hear the thing. Okay? And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osi the king, whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters. He carried them over the waters. They didn't carry themselves. Said this Salmanasseh, king of Assyria, led away them captive, the Israelites captive, okay? And he carried them over the waters. They didn't carry themselves. I've heard things, Israel. You have heard things, Israel. I don't need to name no names, Israel. I told you, we walk in a new walk. We are reading 2nd Esdras, 13th chapter, and I have heard things, and you have heard things. I don't give a damn where you heard it from. What did the scriptures say? So either Yahweh is true and every man is a liar, or every man is true and Yahweh is a liar. Now, let me read on. But they took this counsel among themselves, the Israelites. Okay, but before I do that, Genesis 49th chapter. You understand that? 49 and 10th verse. Listen to the thing. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, Messiah, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So what do we just read? That this man, this son, in 2nd Esdras 13 had going on, if you're paying attention. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to go back to the 39th verse. Hear the thing. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, same multitude just referred to in the prophecy in Genesis, speaking about how the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. Messiah, Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Okay, and it links up right here, precepts, with what is going on in 2nd Esdras, 13th chapter. This vision, this dream. He gathered another peaceable multitude unto him. Now, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never before mankind dwelt. Okay? That they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. Okay? We done heard things, Israel. I'm not here to get on that again, but we have heard things. There are doctrines out there floating around about these types of things. And so we're going to the book. Now, let me read over here how we handle a thing, Israel. I'm going to do it every time. If we got issues, I'm going to go to Nehemiah and we're going to see how our forefathers handle issues. What did they do? Did they lay down and roll over, or did they deal with it? And let's see if they did deal with it. How did they deal with it? Let's go to Nehemiah in the 13th chapter, and it will read, on the day that they read, Israel, in the book of Moses, in the audience of the people, and therein was found written. You understand that? It wasn't in some nigga's mind. You understand that? It was found written in the law. So this is how we deal. When we got some issues in Israel, we go to the book. Because if it ain't in the book, that means it's a lie. Now that we got that out the way, let us go here. Now this said that Shiloh, the Messiah, was going, all people were going to be gathered to him. Then we're reading in 2nd Esdras 13 chapter. This is about the Son of the Most High gathering his peaceable multitude, of the which were the 10 tribes that were carried away by Salmanasseh. Okay? Not of themselves. Now, let us go over here to Isaiah in the 13th chapter, if you will. We're going to do it again and again, that all might have an opportunity to hear the thing. You can choose whatever in the hell you want. But I am going to read the scriptures as our forefathers did, so that we can go in here and we can see what's written in the law This is the law. The scriptures is the law that endureth forever. Learn the scriptures, Israel. Stop learning what men say. Seek the book. Now we're going to go to the 11th chapter of Isaiah, and we're going to fall down to the 11th verse. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left. So his people, he's coming back to gather the remnant of his people that were left. So there's no way that they could be gone anywhere else. Yahweh was alive. From Assyria, here these places, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. This is where Yahweh is going to give the order to Hamashiach Yahushai to come back and redeem the remnant of his people from. So if they weren't there, what the hell would he be coming back for? These are things you got to think about. You don't have to take it up with no other man and argue with other men, as have I done. Read the scriptures, Israel. Read the scriptures and bring them out to another Israelite, another Hebrew, that they may hear the thing, okay, and weigh the matter for themselves. Now, you got anything you want to say to him, brother? But what did the scripture say? The scripture, let's go back over that one more time, that they might hear the thing. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Osee the king. So they were carried away in the time of Osee the king. That's the timeline when it happened, okay? Whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive. See, but you've heard, like I've heard, which says these Israelites carried their damn self away. You see that? You see how that serpent can get into your mind? That woman, that strange woman of Proverbs 7, can get all up in you. And we can't deal more peaceably with even the liars of Israel. And we calling them liars, okay? But we don't have to engage in foolishness. And as you see, I'm not doing that, as have I before Israel. See the thing, example as to what not to do, because it's unnecessary. Just read the scriptures. Jeremiah in the 2nd chapter. Let me go there right quick. I just want to point something out to you. And as Hamashiach Yahushua constantly, verily, said unto men in his day, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures. That's what the situation is. There's where the problem lies, not knowing the scriptures. Now, let me go on. Jeremiah 2nd chapter, 6th verse, hear the thing. Neither said they, where is the Lord Yahweh that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt. Now, I bring that out because I've heard of Israelites who are caught up on this whole notion of where it says in 2nd Esdras, where never mankind dwelt. Well, we've heard of that before. We just reading in Jeremiah. There are such a place. There has been such an instance. Okay, where? Go ahead. That's right, Israel. Hear the thing. We're trying to help you to understand. Read it for yourselves. Do not listen to men. We're doing what we were told. We're doing what our forefathers did when they had an issue, seeking the book and finding what was written therein. Now, one more time. Through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt. So it's not a marvel that these men and women and children, quite possibly, went through a land where no man dwelt. It's not the first instance of its kind. That's why I wanted to go to this verse to show you that. Okay? Now, we're putting doctrine on trial. Okay? Now, let's go over here to, I just got some other things I want to bring out. Let's go to the book of Acts in the 2nd chapter in the 5th verse. Acts 2 and 5. You know it well, Israel. You claim you know the scriptures. Okay, no problem. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So in Jerusalem, there are gathered devout men, Jews, out of every nation. Now we know this chapter is going to go on to talk about them at the Pentecost. And if you know the scriptures, you know what happened. So now the critical thought becomes, well, hold on for a minute. If Israel, during the time of O.C. the King, had come over to the Americas on ships, How in the hell did they get back over here to the Pentecost? That's just a question. I'm not here to argue anything. I'm here to lay it before you. Out of the book we're reading, what is written herein? This says the Jews were out of every nation, and we know that the northern kingdom, or the quote unquote Gentiles, were on the scene as well. But how can that be if they were over in the Americas? See that? Think about the thing, Israel. Don't just take what somebody says. All right. Now we're going to go to the 26th chapter of Acts. 26, and I think I got a little something for you. Listen to the thing, Israel. Unto which promise our 12 tribes, instantly serving day, God, Yahweh, day and night. Hope to come, for which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I am accursed of the Jews. I'm in seventh verse of Acts 26. It says the 12 tribes were instantly serving Yahweh day and night. So you help me out, Israel. Is this just me? Am I reading incorrectly? Am I making up something? We want to put it on trial. This doctrine, this thing has caused much of Israel great distress, and has carried away many people in the doctrine that Israel came over here before Yahweh said they ever would on slave ships. So do you understand how serious this is? If it were true that Israelites came over to the Americas before the prophecy of Deuteronomy 28, that means we can trash the whole scriptures. Because that means Yahweh is a liar. So this is serious. 2 Thessalonians, I just want to leave one thing with you. 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians in the 3rd chapter. Wait a minute. Where is it? The 2nd chapter. 2nd chapter, Salakia. Now we beseech you, Brother Zuriah Solomon and myself, on this lesson. We beseech you, urge you, implore you, Israel. Brethren, my brethren, by the coming of the Lord Yahweh Shai, and by our gather, bring together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that day of Yahweh Shai is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means. That means seek the book, not man. Don't let no man deceive you by any means. They are able to accomplish this when they speak to you out of their own heart, and they don't speak to you out of the scriptures. Do not let that happen. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Just to finish the verse. Let no man deceive you by any means, Israel. All right. I hope you got some understanding. We did some scriptural reading as well as we put some doctrine to the rigorous test. Okay. Hallelujah. Bahashama Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Go ahead, brother. Shalom, Israel. Shabbat Shalom.